welcome back to another Eleanore video. This is my 1956 chop-top Beetle. I did all the work myself on this car, and I'm very, very proud of it. I did start mounting some seats in the interior. I had to build some special brackets to get the seats mounted. I did pick out a set of 350Z seats because I found them to be comfortable to me, and I found a good deal on them because somebody had butchered the seat tracks on them. They had the seats mounted in an RX-7 or something like that. So I decided to take those seats that I had, which I was going to put into my 350Z because the seats were in there were getting a little worn out, and I decided I would reupholster those seats and put the new seats into the oval instead. I'd rather be comfortable, and I needed a lower mounting, sportier seat because I'm a tall guy. I'm like 6'3", pushing 250 pounds. So I needed the headroom. I also need the seats to be much further back because the car gets a little wider as you sit further in the back because my shoulders are just so wide. They're about 6 inches wider than the average adult male, and I was told this by the suit fitters that put a suit on me, and they couldn't find a jacket that fit me properly. They actually put me in a fat man's coat, which I thought was kind of funny, and then they had to take it in around the rest of my body because I'm not that big around. Anyway, that was rather amusing. In fact, when the guy called out the number of the width of my shoulders, I forget what the exact number was, the girl looked up who was recording the information and said, "You know what?" And he repeated it, and she was just like, "Wow." Anyway, that was a funny day. Anyways, back to the car. We're going to go ahead and make the changes to this. I'm going to show you how I got these seats mounted in here. It's completely custom seat tracks that I made after cutting off all the butchery from the previous guys. So if you like my videos, make sure you click the thumbs up. It's huge to me if you click the thumbs up because what happens is my videos get promoted more. The more they get promoted, the more videos I upload because I become more motivated. So that's very important to me. Also, click the subscribe button down here and ring the little bell that's next to it. Very important that you do that because then you get notifications every time I upload a video. Anyways, onwards, forward we go. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and stick around. Here we go. Here's the bullshit seat tracks that the previous guy had owned these seats put on here. You see, it looks like it's some 1-inch square tube welded the full length of the seat slider with some tabs welded onto the end of them. This side, the tabs are welded directly to the slider. And this apparently was something he did for a Mazda RX-7 or something. All I know is it's pretty ugly, and I could do a much better, simpler job. This is rather over-engineered for what needs to be here. So we're going to cut all that off, clean it up, and make something nicer. I sawzalled that sucker right off of there, and then used a flap wheel to just grind it down smooth, and then the last piece of the box steel that was on here just peeled right off. And there it is. That's actually it right there, peeled right off. There's the remnants of the old bracket. There's a sawzall blade that I went through, and an extra tab that was not necessary for what we're using it for. Alright, I think what I'm shooting here for is going to be a very simple design. If this were your seat, right, this is pretty rough, but if that's your seat, and this is the floor, now you notice that seat and the floor aren't exactly perpendicular. The seat is tipped upwards a little bit. So what I need to do is I need to build a bracket that's going to attach to the underside of the seat rails and to the floor, kind of like that. Your bolts will go through here, just like that, and then somewhere along here I'll put the flat bar to reinforce it. Another piece on the opposite side, and if I feel I need a little more strength, I'll run another piece across that way. I think that's a bit overkill though. I think this probably isn't necessary. So with that said, this is what we're going to build. Of course, none of this is to scale, and I'm going to give it the best shot that I can, and I think we're going to get the results that we need from what you see right here. So I went down to the local big box home improvement store and got a couple pieces of flat bar. This stuff is 1.25 inches wide. At least that's what it says on it. It's not particularly thick, 1/8 inch. I think that ought to be thick enough for what we're trying to design here. And we're going to take this strip and we're going to contort it into the shape that we need to mount it under the seat according to the plans that I've built. So there'll be a bend here, there'll be a bend here, way down here there'll be another bend, and we'll have it, you know, up and down, just like in the drawing that I had put together. What's the easiest way to bend this if you don't have a vise or a metal bender? We'll show you. Just cut a V-shaped channel in it like that. It's one of my sloppier cuts, but then it's real easy to bend. Just take the flat pliers and just bend it just like that, right on the cut, and you get it perfect every time. Now you might be saying, well, there's no strength here. You just cut the metal 75% through, and this thing is really soft and flexible. That's true, until you weld it. So once you put a bead of weld across that, that's going to solve that problem. Well, you can see I reinforced the seat brackets here with another piece of steel going perpendicular to the other pieces that are on here, so that made it much more rigid. It doesn't flex at all. The only place it flexes is in the middle, but because it's in the middle, when these things are actually mounted here on the seat and you put your weight on it and these two end pieces splay out, the center piece is actually under tension. It won't flex, it gets pulled straight. So you don't need any more reinforcement on that. If I did think I needed some more reinforcement, I would probably just run another piece of flat bar right along the end here going this way. But no, I don't feel it needs it. It should be just fine. Alright, we've got them brackets mounted on them seats. I got them all painted up yesterday. I had some runs in the paint. Like a lot of runs. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But they got several coats on them and they're pretty tough and durable. But that's all been assembled, and now they're ready to get dropped in the car, and then we're going to line up where the holes go at and start drilling floor pans and get the seat to fit. Fits right on the first try. Alright. Okay, next we're going to have to drill the holes where the seat's attached to the floor pan. And I'm going to have to reinforce this because this is just sheet metal. But right down there, you can see our hole. So you take our trusty center punch, center it in that hole, and after you get both sides in the front, you don't want to come in the back and do the same thing. Alright, now we'll take the seat back out, find the center punch holes, and drill those holes out. Alright, good on the first try. There's the light coming through for the hole. Same up here in the front. And the other two are the same way also. So with that said, these seats are ready to get screwed down and bolted in. They are just going into sheet metal, so I am going to reinforce the underside of the pan because I don't want those bolts coming through or tearing through that floor pan in the event of, let's say, a collision of some sort, or for that matter, I don't want the seats to go through the sheet metal either. From where these things were sitting, from just me resting on it and bouncing up and down a few times, actually dented the floor pan. So I'll be putting both a reinforcement on top and underneath these floor pans for those seats But now that I have the holes all lined up and these seats are fitting, it should be good to go for me and a whole lot easier to work with. So, with that said, I'm very, very pleased to announce that I've got a set of 350Z seats mounted inside of my 1956 Oval. In order to get the seats to the right height that I wanted and retain the seat tracks that were on here, I had to drop the rear end of the seat down in between the heater channel and the tunnel, but bring the front end out. Because if you know anything about Beetles, the heater channels curve inwards. So the floor pan area in the front here gets smaller. It loses its width. So that seat would not push down into place. So I actually had to tip the front end up and tip the back end down in there, and that got the seat to the height that I wanted. And actually, it's kind of comfortable that way. I like it when the back end is lower versus having an absolutely flat seat, which is how most Volkswagen Beetles are. This actually feels much sportier, like a proper bucket seat, and allows me to sit in there. This also has adjustments on it. That's what that knob is right here. The knob is currently off, but it allows me to change that pitch so I can actually level the seat out a whole lot more, or, well, I can bring it up. The side panel cover that goes on here, I had to do a little trimming, because right here is usually like a pen or pencil holder. It's usually where I put my tire pressure gauge on the Z, and that was not going to fit in between the heater channels there, so I had to do a little bit of trimming. With the trimming done, the little storage compartment there is now lost, but the rest of the plastic will cover up the ugly metal stuff just fine. And that charcoal gray color is actually going to go pretty well with the interior that I've got in here, because I'm just going to make things, black. Black is simple. Alright, there it is with the side cover on. I'm going to run a file around here and clean up the contour on that a little bit and pretty it up some. Otherwise, that pretty much nails it. That's what they're going to look like. Here we go. And that's how far back they go. I love that. I can actually fit in this car quite comfortably, despite taking so much out of that roof. These seats have a ton of adjustability. I can back it all the way up, just about touching, well actually it is just touching by a hair to the back seat. So while the back seat is somewhat worthless to anybody that might be sitting back there, I won't be traveling probably with any more than 2 people anyway. That's just going to be glorified trunk space. But the seat goes way far forward. There it is. That's at its limits. And there's plenty of room for a passenger back in there, but now my belly is touching the steering wheel. That's not good. I think right about the maximum is about where it's going to be when I drive with it. Yeah, these are great. They slide on roller bearings, which is much better than the Volkswagen steel-on-steel rails. There's no rolling parts in those. I think the later models had a plastic bushing that was in between the two that it would slide on, but roller bearings are a whole lot better. I got asked a little bit about what I'm going to do for seat belts. I'm going to try to keep these Nissan 350Z seatbelt receptacles that are in here. The reason why is this looks all clean and streamlined. It looks nice. The stock seatbelt location that screws into the floor pan right here. It's really difficult to get that bolt in with these seats. These seats are kind of squeezed in here. So I'm probably not going to put Volkswagen seatbelts in. I'll use the clips that are off of a 350Z for whatever seatbelts I do wind up putting in here. It would be nice to get some that are auto-retracting. I guess we'll see what I can wind up digging up, or maybe even the 350Z ones will fit on here. I guess we'll see. Alright, there's my foot room. Right now my feet are flat up against the bulkhead, and this is with the seat back as far as it goes. Yeah, I'm a big person, so it's tough getting in and out of a Beetle with stock seats. Karmann Gias are practically impossible for me to get in and out of, but Beetles are a little tough. Now, because they do have some pretty extreme headroom, which was the concern in this car, if you're going to drop the roof 8 inches in the front, I'm going to need a lot of headroom. And there's more headroom in here than there is on my 350Z, so we're actually really good. Most of the dimensions in this car I sorted out for me. I wanted the steering wheel in line with my chin, and that means my eyes are looking right about through the center of the windshield. So that's good. That's good. It's exactly where I need it to be to make this thing comfortable. There's a little bit of a blind spot right here when I'm looking out through the A-pillar because of the way the windshield curves down. I don't imagine that's going to be too big of a problem because I can still see the ground. I just can't see above. But, you know, whatever you're going to see that's on the ground is, you know, that's what you're going to crash into. It's not going to be something in the air unless somebody's flying a helicopter at you. I will not be able to see traffic lights in here. This is my point of view. If the traffic light is way up here somewhere, you know, I can't see it. I'm going to have to get a prism for the dashboard to be able to see traffic lights. Because, yeah, I can't see them in this current condition. Even if I got way down here and looked up, I practically got my head in the passenger's lap, which might be good if they were, you know, kind of cute and had money. But if not, then, you know, their head should be in my lap because I'm driving, right? Anyways, yeah, this is going to work out well. I should bolt in a pedal cluster just to see what that's going to feel like. But I think this is going to be good. I mean, my knees are almost straight like they are on the Z, so these seats are really, really close to the floor. I like it. There's where my gauge cluster is going to go. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do on this side, or even what I'm going to do with the little grill here. Yeah, you guys might recognize that. I actually found that in some shrubs outside of one of the restaurants I was servicing. So, well, it followed me home. Still got some more welding to do on the inside. This is the stuff that I didn't make too big of a deal of. There's all the welds that I did over here. On the driver's side, it's still unfinished. I also need to finish the door corners. Again, I did the exterior first on purpose because it was going to the car show, and those are the parts that people were really going to notice. Also have to fix the rust that's along this edge here. Same problem on the passenger side. I have new pieces to replace that. Looks like it's only on... Yeah, there's a little hole, little pinholes here. I'll see if I can weld them, and if I can weld them closed without burning them through, then I'm not going to cut this whole section out because it doesn't look like it needs it. Passenger side, however, that's all beat up and twisted. That's pretty gnarly, so I think I'm going to cut that section out and replace a portion of it. Well, I'm just glad to say that we've got seats. With the seat this far back, the shifter is way up over here somewhere. I need a shifter to be further back, so I'm probably going to make a custom shift rod that brings it back to here. The e-brake handle is going to be way up here too, which is something else that I'm not going to be too happy with. We'll see how crazy I go with that. I might wind up putting in a hydraulic e-brake. The mechanical one will still be there, but I'll do a hydraulic one behind it, perhaps, with the handle over it. So I want something to, you know, maybe if I want to take it auto-crossing, you know, show the little thing off, I think this would be pretty cool. So I get one of them hydraulic e-brake handles. Alright, that's it for mounting seats. I'm going to get the bolts dropped in this thing, and when I get the body pulled back off the pan to do some more suspension work is when I'll do the reinforcements in the floor pan. And until then, you know, thumbs up if you like my video. Please subscribe. Please tell all your friends about me, and you know, watch my videos. I really enjoy it. Make sure you hit that little bell next to the subscribe button. That'll give you notifications whenever I upload a video. I'm going to try to do them more frequently. I've been about once or twice a week. Lately it's been about once a week. We're going to try to do more than that. People have been requesting it, so I'm going to do the best effort that I can. Possibly uploading videos need a lot less editing, and that's really what kills me. Editing and post-processing is just it's a bitch, and it takes a lot of time. But anyway, thanks you guys for watching, and I'm out.